Good morning, my yogi and yoginis. I hope that you have been taking care and being kind to yourself. So I'd like you to join me this morning in our yoga practice. Come and grab your mat, grab a block or something with a sturdy enough base that you can bring the ground closer to you throughout our practice at different times. This movement today with breath will be to uplift our moods, to release any negative energy that we're feeling within. So come on in. And so come on in. Begin lying on our backs. Choose to lie on our backs any which way that is most comfortable for us. We can lie either with our legs long or our knees bent, whatever is most comfortable in our lower backs and in our hips. And our arms either down along our side, out to a T, or even up overhead. And so wherever feels good in our neck and wherever feels good in our shoulders. And wherever we are, let's turn our palms up towards the sky and begin to open up across the front of our shoulders. Open up across the front of our chest. And we begin to also open our hearts. When we rest our eyes, gazing behind our eyelids, we look for an internal light. And this internal light is our innermost true tuition, the self that we know and trust best. And so we begin to slow our minds and we calm our bodies, taking a scan of our bodies from the tips of our toes to the crowns of our heads. We breathe, taking a gentle and easy inhale through our nose, filling our lungs full to the top of our chest and continuing up to the crowns of our heads. And on our exhale, we feel our breath traveling down to the pits of our bellies, continuing down each leg and even exiting through our toes. In through the nose, out through our nose or mouth, anytime we need. And so with our breath, we notice our bodies. Notice where we may be feeling any pains, any hurts or discomforts. And send our breath there. Let's also notice where we are feeling most comfortable, most relaxed and loose. And send our breath there. And so we may introduce our Ujjayi breath. And our Ujjayi breath is our ocean breath, like we're fogging a mirror with our lips closed. Massaging the backs of our throats. We hear our breath behind our ears. And we also see our breath within, traveling within our bodies up and down, ironing the path along the way. Knowing that our Ujjayi breath today, our ocean breath, is our main tool in our practice. Knowing our breath will massage our internal organs, will control our body temperature from the inside out, will help us let go of whatever stresses or anxieties we're holding within, and will help connect our mind and our bodies together as one. Really hearing what our bodies are asking of us. And so throughout our practice today, listen to our bodies. Really hear the voices within. Honor our bodies, and our bodies will honor us back. When we introduce movement, wiggling our toes and our fingers, Let's circle our ankles and circle our wrists. And extending our arms way up overhead for a long stretch, as if we are just waking up this morning. Inhale deeply. And let it all go. Drawing our arms wide to the side to a T. And we bring our knees to a bend. And walk our feet just a little wider than our own hip width. And swaying our legs here from side to side like windshield wipers on our cars. And so how are we feeling here? In the front of our hips, through our sides, and even our lower backs. We introduce breath-matching movement. Inhale to lift knees to center and exhale to rotate to the side. Flowing one breath, one move. Breath matching movement and movement matching breath. And if our bodies are saying okay, pick our feet up off the earth and continue to rotate side to side. Anchoring our shoulders down into the ground. Stopping our legs before they touch the earth. Option, top leg extends away. Inhale to center, exhale to rotate. And so throughout our practice today, we have many progressions and we have many add-ons. Listen to our bodies, knowing that all our progressions and add-ons are all choices and they are all options. And our last one, we prepare for bridge. Walking our feet beneath our knees, arms down along our sides as we send our hips towards the sky, sitting in our upper backs behind our shoulders. Pressing deep through our heels, rooting every single toe. Engaging through our core, our bellies, sitting with our chest lifted. And breathe through bellies. We lower all the way down one vertebra at a time, floating our tailbone down last. We flow, extending our arms up overhead, inhale. Exhale, lowering arms, extending hips. Lowering hips, extending arms, inhaling, exhaling, reverse. And so we flow at our own perfect pace. As we wake up our entire backside, our entire core, and helping bring awareness to our shoulders. And our last one, lower all the way down towards the earth. And drawing our knees in towards the chest or outer ribs for a gentle rock and sway from side to side. We may circle our knees around in any direction or all directions, massaging through our low backs. In through the nose, out through our nose or mouth. Let's keep our knees stacked over on top of our hips. And placing our hands on our bellies, draw our core right into the center of our spine. We keep this here with a light toe tap towards the earth, alternating one and the other. Inhale to draw in, exhale to lower. And so we may choose to stay here. We choose whichever feels most best in our bodies today. And if this feels good, peel our shoulders off of the earth, reaching towards our toes and our eye gaze between our knees. And only if this feels good and our body is ready for more, we may draw fingers towards our temples and crisscross from side to side. Leading with our shoulder towards our opposite hip with our elbows out wide. Remember to choose any leg extension, if at all, today. And our last one, relaxing the upper half, knees in towards the chest, our upper outer ribs. Take a deep breath in and let a sigh go. Turning to one side, we come on up onto all fours. As we walk our hands underneath our shoulders and our knees underneath our hips. We come into our first angry cats. Upper backs high to the sky, dropping our chins and dropping our shoulders. In reverse, our tailbone away from our heart center as we lift through our sternum. Inhale. And exhale, flow the two together. Inhale to lengthen long. Exhale to roll high. Knowing that we lead with our hearts, we lead with our sternum right from center, and the rest of the spine will follow along. Soften shoulders, soften elbows. Knowing our neck is an extension of our spine. We may skip rope through our torso, through our centers. We inhale down and around, and exhale up and around. Bringing awareness into our side bodies. And reverse the other way around. When we sit into our first child's pose, hips towards our heels, and arms reaching long and far away ahead in front, allowing freedom in our bodies to move, shift, sway, any which way our bodies would like to move. Knowing that with every inhale we lengthen the spine, and with every exhale we find micro space. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to find space. And walking our arms over to one long edge of our mats. Feel the stretch through our sides and all the way up to our underarm. And if it feels good, lead with the chest to rotate and open towards our open side. Keeping a soft eye gaze. As we take our time to walk to our other side. And we come into the center, arms long ahead in front, as we shift forward to our first soft plank. And soft is on our knees just to start as we gradually build up. Lift and open from collar to collar, spiraling our elbows back so arms and elbows turn back towards our knees. And bracing in our core, hips in line with the rest of our spine. Inhale. Exhale, child's pose and press away. Now we flex and flow these two together. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale to child's pose. One breath, one move. And preparing for chaturanga, a halfway hover forward with elbows into our side and exhale to press away. Inhale to hover forward, exhale to push, leading with our hearts. Knowing our shoulders only come down to elbow height. Really use that breath to push away, to find that inner strength. And our next one, slow down to our bellies, taking our sweet, slower time down, down. And lifting in baby cobra, just the heart lifts off of the earth. Lengthening the back of the neck, inhale. Exhale to lower and flex and flow. Inhaling to lift, exhale to lower. And so mindful of how our spine feels today. Knowing that every day our flexibility in our spine varies from day to day, even from time of day. And so maybe and only maybe we come up a little higher with each one. And if it feels good, take a peek over one shoulder, inhale, exhale down and over the other side. In child's pose, hands in close to the ribs, inhale up. Exhale, send it through. We thread the needle, taking one arm beneath us. Turning our palm up towards the sky, eye gaze towards our open palm. In through the nose, out through the nose or mouth. Unthread and other side. And as we reach for the other side, take notice if we feel any differences between each. Arms long and ahead and front. Gradually building our way up to a full sun salutation. We work our way up. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale, slow chaturanga to the earth. Cobra, baby cobra, heart scoops up. Inhale. Exhale, child's pose and press away. And we continue these together at our own perfect pace. Inhaling, forward plank. Exhaling down, cobra, scoop up. Inhale, exhale to press. One breath. One move. Inhaling fully. Exhaling completely. And from child's pose, we walk one leg on forward. We may reach around for our ankle and walk it up with our heel beneath our forward knee with a lot of length in our rear leg. Pelvis directly beneath our ribs, and we lengthen high towards the sky. Rotating our wrists, releasing any tensions we may be feeling here. And reaching for our upper backs, elbows high to the sky. We want to be strong in our forward supporting foot. Rooting into the earth, engaging core, and feel this length all the way up to the top of our neck. Inhale, exhale, we hinge back for hamstrings. And so here is one place we may introduce our blocks. As we lift our toes, lift our sit bones, and lifted hearts. And choose any of the 3 different heights in our blocks. Sending our breath where we feel it most. And for one breath, we shift forward to a soft lunge, root our foot high to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, child's pose, and walk it away. Our half series salutation. Inhaling forward to plank. Exhaling down, chaturanga, scoop up the heart cobra. Exhale, child's pose for 2 more at our own perfect pace. And soft lunge, other side, reaching around, walking our foot on forward. And we open up the heart, allowing our arms to fall naturally any which way they would like to fall. And as we offer up our hearts, we breathe. And hinge for hamstrings. Again, toes lift, tailbone lifts, hearts lift. We want to make sure that our hips are square and level. And so very small adjustment, pull back through the forward hip and forward a little through the back hip, the back leg. And so depending on which one you have forward and which one you have back, lift through our hearts. Do we notice any differences between our right and our left? Forward soft lunge, root our foot into the earth, high breath, inhale. And exhale, child's pose. We send it away. Choose rest, choose flow, choose which our bodies are asking of us here and now. And then our next one, we prepare for downward dog. As we tuck our toes and bend our knees, a locked tailbone high to the sky. And say good morning to those calves, good morning to those hamstrings as we pedal between our right and left legs. Shifting our hips side to side, always making sure we feel good. Pressing through every finger and every knuckle deep into our mats, with elbows turned back towards our toes. Hugging our underarm muscles in, shoulders away from the ears, and sit bones towards the sky. We keep our knees soft, knowing nothing ever locks, and knowing our heels don't have to touch the earth. We give our heads a little nod yes, a little nod no, letting go of any tensions we're feeling in our neck and shoulders. Take a deep breath in, and let something go. Right leg high to the sky, your right, flex our heel, fan open our toes wide, leave an imprint of our foot in the clouds above. Strong and supported in our lower leg, choose to stay here or bend our knee towards the sky. Strong in our core without dunking in our lower backs. And hover forward to cheetah pose. How close can we bring our knee in towards our arm with our shoulders over our fingertips, firing up legs and core. We flow, inhale, three-legged downward dog, exhale, hover forward. And so as we flow with one breath and one move, our option is to be here on our lower knee. At any time in our practice today, we may come down towards our knees. We may choose rest in child's pose or any which way we are most comfortable. And when our bodies say, okay, I'm ready for more, join in again. And our last one, hold in cheetah. In through the nose, out through the nose, release knee under hip and turn open to our left side, our open side. As we stack our shoulders, stack our ribs and our hips. Top arm option towards the sky. We may hover our arm over our ear or even hand in our own back pocket. Engaging core, pressing all four corners of our foot down into the ground. We reverse high towards the sky. Up and out of our sides, up and out of our lower backs. And choosing our eye gaze anywhere. And we take these two and flow together. And so again, if the floor feels too far away to reach, just use our blocks and place it where our hand wants to land. And swindle around downward dog to the tops of our mats. Again, right leg towards the sky, three-legged downward dog. Choose heel, choose knee. Hover forward to cheetah pose, a moment to hold in cheetah. Lift our hips up a little higher, higher with every exhale. Create a lot of space beneath for a high lunge as we walk our foot towards our hands. Gathering our strength from bottom to top and open up our hearts. Both knees and toes pointing ahead. Inhale, exhale, hinge and fold, hands to thighs, blocks, or the earth. And a moment in forward fold, allowing our upper bodies to fall, to surrender. A lot of bend in our knees, supporting our lower back, supporting our hamstrings. As we reverse towards the sky, we drop our hips and we lift our hearts. Using legs, we stand tall, inhale. And exhale, hands to heart center. And standing mountain pose, feet beneath us, lifted to the crowns of our heads. We flow, inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center. And so defying gravity. And with every inhale, we inhale positive energy. We inhale healing. And with every exhale, we surrender to everything else. Hinge and forward fold from the front crease of our hips as we bend our knees and lead with our hearts. And coming on up halfway to flat back, walking our hands up to shins or thighs and gaze ahead, monkey pose. Exhale, draping over our thighs. We try that again. Inhale, halfway to flat back. Exhale, folding through one more time. And let it all go. Reverse swan, dropping hips, lifting hearts high to the sky. Hinge and forward fold, bending our knees a lot in reverse. Lifted hearts. Hinge and fold, last one. As we sit in easy chair, yogi squat. And let's flow, circle high. Exhale, sitting through. And so here, our feet however wide we need, for whatever feels good in our hips and our lower backs. We may open up our hearts in front, engaging our back hearts. Shoulder blades drawn in together. And if our shoulders say okay, we may circle arms out and around and forward, and out and around and up. Always keeping open across the front of our shoulders. And so choose any combination, any blend of arms. Hinge, forward fold from the front crease of our hips. And halfway to flat back, gaze ahead one time. Exhale, draping over. The right leg, a long step back, high lunge. Rooting and rising, inhale. Exhale, child's pose or downward dog as we send it away, knees or up onto feet. We choose rest or we choose flow. Choose which our bodies are asking of us. Option, flexing our left foot behind. Knees or toes. And downward dog, left leg towards the sky. Ears between our arms, pressing through every finger, every knuckle. Choose to stay here or bend our knee towards the sky, opening through the front of our hip. Again, mindful we are strong in our core without dunking in our lower backs. And hover forward to cheetah pose, shoulders over fingertips, hollow in through core. And flow, inhale, three-legged down dog, exhale, hover forward cheetah. Again, option on our lower knee. And hold in cheetah. Release, knee under hip, turn open to our right side. Stacking ribs, hips, shoulders. Arm to the sky, maybe hovering over ear. And if we are taking care of our shoulders, we can place our hand in our own back pocket. Roll the shoulders back, ribs back. Engaging through our core and reverse high to the sky. And with our shoulder over ribs, hip, knee. And we flow these two together. Inhale, reverse. And exhale to side. And swindle around, downward dog. Again, our left leg towards the sky. Choose heel, choose knee, choose either or. Holding for a moment in our cheetah pose. And for 2 breaths, and on every exhale, we lift the hips up higher, higher. Create a lot of space underneath us to walk our foot to hand. As many steps as we need in a high lunge. Gather from bottom to top. Inhale. Exhale, hinge and fold at the tops of our mats and reverse high to the sky. Dropping hips, lifted hearts. Easy chair flow. As we sit back into our heels and our hips behind. Any option for arms. Hinge, forward fold from the front crease of our hips. And halfway to flat back, gaze forward 1 time. And exhale, let it all go. Left leg, a long step away. Open up our hearts. Inhale, high lunge. And for child's pose or downward dog, and we send it away. We choose rest, we choose flow, choose whichever our bodies are asking of us here and now. And so knees or toes. Option right foot off the earth. We may pause anywhere along the way. And from downward dog and right leg high towards the sky, heel or knee. We prepare for a high lunge, shift all the way forward with eye gaze between our hands, foot to hand. Open up the heart in a high lunge, inhale. We take a half step in for a pyramid. And so a half step in. Any amount of bend in our knees as we hinge from the front crease of our hips, leading with our heart and length along the crowns of our heads. Either hands to thighs, shins, blocks, or floor. Lifted through our hearts, our heads, our shoulders may fall soft. And if it feels good, give our heads little nods, yeses and nos. A soft lunge, our rear leg a long step back behind, knee towards the earth. For easy lunging twist, inhale. And exhale, reaching diagonally across our body. Our right hand may sit in our lower back pocket. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale to find micro space. Maybe beginning to look over our shoulders behind us. And slowly unwind our heads first. Shoulder, spine follows. As we take a step, tuck our toes for standing straddle. Tuck our toes, lift the hips. Walk to the long edge of our mats here. And so I'll turn sideways so that you have a side view instead. And so here we turn our toes in a little. Our heels turn out a little. Walk our hips forward of our heels a little. And so where do our bodies want to go here? Where are we able to keep that length in the low back? And so if we find ourselves, we are here and the floor is just too far away to reach, try bending your knees a lot. to lift those sit bones higher towards the sky and lengthen through the spine. We want to find length always in our spine. With our hands, whether we stay up on our hands or down towards our forearms. And we lift our heads up above our hearts. Bending our knees a lot, we turn back towards the tops of our mats, our right leg forward. And soft lunge, really towards the earth, high to the sky. Inhale, exhale, child's pose or downward dog, and send it away. And so choose rest, choose flow, choose again, which our bodies are asking of us here and now. And from downward dog, left leg now towards the sky. Shifting forward, high lunge, open up the heart. And taking our half step in for pyramid, we are on our other side. Hips, knees, toes ahead, hinge from our hips. Pulling back a little through the left hip, forward a little through our right. And so do we notice any differences between each side? Any amount of bend in our knees to help support. Long, low, soft lunge, really back towards the earth. Easy lunging twist and turn diagonally to our left. Inhale. Exhale across. Strong in our core. Through our inner thighs, our lower pelvic floor. As we take our time to unwind, head, shoulder, spine follows for standing straddle. Tuck our toes, lift the hips, walk it on over. Toes turn in a little, heels out a little, hips forward of our heels a little. Anywhere upper bodies wish to go. As we lift slowly with our heads above our hearts, we return to the tops of our mats. Bend our knees, walk it on through. Child's pose or downward dog. Rest or flow. Let's all take a moment to hold in our downward dogs. And as we hold in our downward dogs, let's exaggerate the bend in our knees a lot. We want to bring our ribs in towards our thighs and our thighs in towards our ribs. And so there is a lot of bend in our knees. Our heels are off of the floor. Our ears between our arms as we lift our sit bones higher towards the sky. Giving our heads nods, yeses and nos. And so we keep our legs there. Lift those sit bones high. Giving the length and the space that our spines desire so much. Left leg, your left, high to the sky, flex the heel. Preparing for warrior one. Shift through, eye gaze ahead, foot to hand. Swinging our rear heel down towards the earth and open up our hearts. We allow our right hip to open naturally, however it wants to open, as we keep square through the front and offer our hearts. And so warrior one teaches us to root all four edges of our feet into the earth and offer our hearts. Our big toe rooted deep into the earth. Feeling strength and empowerment all the way up through the crowns of our heads. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two, to the long edge of our mats. And so we want to be open through our hips, open across our chest. Our back foot is about parallel with our mats behind us. And if we took a peek down at our forward leg, we can see our big toe on the inside of our knee. Stacking our shoulders over our ribs and hips and softening our shoulders. We are strong and we are fierce. Eye gaze over our left palm up to the sky, reaching, gliding as far as our core will go. Inhale. And exalt in reverse. And taking deep breaths to our open side lungs. Choosing our eye gaze anywhere. We may gaze at our thumb above. We may look in front of us. We may gaze behind us. Where does it feel good in our neck and our shoulders? Side angle. Hand or forearm towards our thigh, and if it feels good for us today, we may even reach a little beyond. Our core holds us up in place, rolling our hips back, our ribs, our shoulders. Top arm flows, reach behind us, inhale. Exhale, brushing towards the earth and inhaling towards the sky. And so here we lead with our big, big and warm hearts, allowing our shoulders, elbows, and hands to follow through. Easy, free, and uplifting breathing. We begin to think of our feet just a little more as a pair of suction cups. We think of our legs as a pair of scissors that want to close, but they won't. And so strong in feet and strong in legs, we transition to triangle. And so triangle, any amount of bend in our knees. As we hinge a little through our hips, we may choose high. And if our bodies say okay, we may reach towards our shins or even our ankles. We do want to remind ourselves to keep that length in our lower backs and in our spine. Roll those shoulders back, offer our hearts to the sun. Inhale. Exhale, reverse arms only to the sky. And open to our wide squats, to the long edge of our mats. And so whatever is wide for you, knees and toes both pointing in the same direction as we sit our hips back behind and lift our hearts. We are here in moon, big hands, open them wide. And we flow, inhaling out, exhaling in. And if we are taking care of our shoulders today, our arms may stay under shoulder level or completely omit them altogether. Engaging our backside. Hands together at heart center. Then shift and play from side to side. And so use this time to play and to move freely however your body wishes to move. We may stay high. We may come on down low, walking our hands towards our blocks or the earth. We may pause anywhere along the way. And standing straddle, toes in, heels out, lifted hearts. If it feels right, reach towards the opposite leg. Either hold on to our thigh, our shins, our ankles. Wherever we may balance, a glass of water in the sit bones of our lower backs without spilling. Small rotation. If it feels right, we switch other side. Inhale, exhale. Unwind. We turn towards the back of our mats as we prepare for warrior one. And so now our right leg is forward, our left is behind, and high to the sky. Drawing in from lower navel, lower core, our pelvic floor, and all the way up towards the tops of our chest. Reaching for our upper backs, continue to lead through our elbows. Inhale, exhale, warrior two to the long edge of our mats. And so adjust our feet as we need, with our rear foot about parallel with our mat behind. Our forward knee open in line with our center toe. We are here in our present moment, with our heads over hearts and over hips, knowing that there is no other better place. We are most content in our present, like in our present. And eye gaze over, right palm up, reaching, gliding, inhaling. Exalting in reverse. Again, choose our eye gaze. We may shorten our lever again, reaching for upper backs. And so choose your arm options. Side angle. High or low. And top arm flows, reaching behind, inhale, exhale to the earth and circle high towards the sky. Big free moves. Leading with our big and warm hearts. Feel every bit of the way. Pause anywhere along the way. As we become strong in suction cup feet for triangle. And reverse arms only to the sky. As we bend our knees a lot and come into our wide squats. And so our wide squats, we want to make sure that our heels are underneath our knees and not too far away. And so walk it in, heel right underneath our knee, brace the core, sit it back, lift the heart. So much to remember. And open it up. We come into sun, palms up towards the sky. When we circle our arms up and around, inhale, exhale, down and around. And keeping our heads above our hearts. And hearts above our ribs, above our hips. And we circle around the sun. And as we circle around the sun, we keep our hips square to the wall behind us. Rotating from the rib cage up only, without wagging our tails. And so we know our moons, we know our suns and rotations. Choose any blend, our own perfect blend of the three. As we come in, hands to heart center and play. High, low, pause anywhere along the way. Move through anything it is that our bodies are craving and desiring here. Move through any stretch, move through any flow. If we'd like standing straddle, again, we may come into our standing straddles. If we'd like our pyramids, we can pivot from side to side. Again, any amount of bend in our knees to support our hamstrings. And so use this time for you. Garland pose. And so garland, walk our feet in. Find that place where we can sit deep into a squat with all edges of our feet on the floor, all corners, all four corners. And so how do we feel here? If our hips say okay, we may lower our hips with our elbows towards the inside of our legs. And we want to lift up through our hearts, through our heart center. And so here, I'll turn into a side view for you. Again, all edges of our feet down, into the floor. Lift our chest high towards the sky. Think of wearing a big woolly sweater. And we want to zip that sweater right from down low and all the way up to the napes of our necks. And on every exhale, draw in our pelvic floor muscles, draw in all our core muscles. Every exhale, draw them in and up a little higher. We can play a little further. We can choose to stay here. Come on out anytime this is too much. Some options, some choices are to stay up a little higher in our squat. And so we don't have to come on low. Anytime we need, walk it off, shake it off, whatever it is that we need. And maybe return if it felt good. We may choose any of the three heights of our blocks. Just use the block as a guide, lightly sitting on. Our legs are still doing all the work and core, doing all the work. We may also keep our block here up in front. Some people like something to look at, to focus on right nearby. And so choose either or. Or crow. We can play around with crow. And so once again, use those inner core muscles. And placing our hands onto the earth, we keep our eye gaze about 6 inches or so ahead of our hands. So not looking directly down, but look directly ahead of our hands here. We use those lower pelvic floor muscles. And so draw them all in, draw them up and hold them in. Draw it all in right here, bracing through our core. And we hold and we keep that with breath, eye gaze ahead, and rock. Start rocking forwards and back. Pressing deep into our fingertips. Maybe only one toe at a time floats off of the earth. Bracing in our core. We want to press deep into our mats, like we're pressing through the floor, like we're breaking through our floorboards. And anytime we are ready to come on up, we lengthen, we stretch it all. We let it all go. And so snake roll through our spine. Release through all our joints, release through all our limbs. Just let it all go. Right up to the crowns of our heads, through our fingers, our toes, let it all go. As we come into our mountain pose. Our feet beneath us, lengthening long through the crowns of our heads, fingertips catching up with our toes as we lift and offer our hearts. We breathe. We may place our hands as well anywhere we would like, either traditionally here along our sides. We may place our hands on our bellies, maybe one over belly, one over heart. Place our hands anywhere. And breathe. Beginning to feel our heart rates matching breath and breath matching heart rates. Preparing our bodies, preparing our minds for our balance challenge. And so let's come here at the tops of our mats. Here at the tops of our mats. And a high lunge, taking our right leg for a long step back. We want to bend our back knee down a lot, keeping our pelvis beneath our ribs and eye gaze ahead. Are we able to come down a little lower, bringing our front thigh parallel towards the floor, only if we can. And keeping our eye gaze ahead. And so while we're here in our high lunge, we want to make sure that our long step back is hip distance apart. And so while we are here, hip distance apart, we want to make sure that our feet are not directly in line with each other, but again, hip distance apart. So the space across our lower backs are not crisscrossed or twisted, causing any strain in our spine. And we keep everything free, we keep it all open, exactly where it wants to be, so that we feel good always. And so brace it all in and eye gaze ahead. As we prepare for airplane pose, and in airplane pose, as many steps as we need to take flight, finding our focal point ahead. Pressing our big toe down into the earth, flexing our rear heel away. Strong in our tail end, broad in our wingspan. Thumbs up towards the sky. And choose your hinge. We can soar high, we can soar low. Just remember no nose dives here, yes? When we stand towards the sky, right leg once again towards the sky. Tall, strong in our standing, supporting leg. Arms anywhere they need to be. Inhale. Exhale. I'm just going to turn forward for standing pigeon. Take that ankle over the knee and sit down in a low, low chair. As we keep our ankle crossed over the knee, flexed to protect that open knee. Send our hips away behind. Think of sitting in a low, low child's chair. Brace the core, hips lift, hearts lifted. As we come on tall for tree pose. And so tree pose, many different kinds of trees in our world today. And so with our knee and our toe out towards the side, we can choose two roots with leaving a gap between our feet. We may choose one root, walking our toe towards the inside of our ankle. Low or high, above or below the knee, just not on the knee. And if we'd like a little variety, we can also leave a gap between the sole of our foot and the side of our leg, just helping us use a little more of those external hip rotators, the outside of our hips and our glutes. Tall, strong in our standing supporting leg again. Draw these inner thigh muscles, our pelvic floor muscles, draw them in and up and all the way up towards the tops of our necks. We may even feel strength right up through the crowns of our heads. Finding our focal point ahead. And when we are ready to grow, if we are ready, we grow. We may grow wide. We may grow round, long, tall. Maybe only one limb today. Finding our own focal point, our own gaze. And if it feels right for dancer's pose. And so dancers, maybe we simply would like a quad stretch, reaching around for our ankle. And we certainly may hold here, whether we hold around the outside of our ankle or the inside of our ankle. And so the inside as we keep our palm up towards the sky. Reach around towards that inside, our thumb pressing against the bed of our foot and our fingers wrapped around our ankle. Eye gaze ahead. We choose our hinge from the front crease of our hips. We choose the expression in dancers as we flex our heel away behind and open up our hearts. And taking our time, we come on out. Snake roll it away, shake it out, release it all. And we come on in for our other side. And so our other side and our high lunge, long step back again, hip distance apart. Bend the back knee, both knees and toes pointing ahead. When and if we are ready, we take flight. And standing tall, left leg towards the sky, arms anywhere they need to be. Draw those core muscles in, lots of energy in our standing supporting leg. And for standing pigeon, ankle over the knee, sit down in a low, low chair. Relaxed in our shoulders. And we breathe. And tree pose. And so know that this tree, this side, does not have to look the same as our other side. And we remember, we grow when we choose love, when we spread joy, when we find compassion, when we surrender, when we choose nonviolence, quad stretch. Quad stretch, dancer's pose. Any variation of anything it is that you really want right here and right now. Let it go. And so here at the tops of our mats, let's open up our hearts. Inhale. Exhale, give the world a great big hug around shoulder blades wide apart. And flow these two together. Inhale to open, exhale to reach around. And so here we roll our spines like we do in our cats and cows and all fours. Helping reset our spine. One hand on hip and the other high towards the sky. Inhale. Up and out of our sides, reach away. As we switch for the other side. Long through our ITs. And flow the two together. And our feet, however wide we'd like. We may shift from leg to leg. Free. Flow freely. And let it all go. And we circle high to the sky, hinge in our forward fold. Halfway to flat back, gaze ahead. And take a bow all the way through. Let's get low, low like a frog. And so bend our knees a lot, walk our feet as wide as we need to get low towards the ground. Press deep into our mats and either step back or hop back to plank. And so here, choose your plank, high up on our hands. Maybe low down towards our forearms, choose knees or choose toes. But I want you to find your edge, find your challenge. Down in forearms and toes would be the greatest challenge, as he uses everything within our whole bodies. And so we want to press through the mat, press deep through our forearms, our hands. Hug those underarm muscles wherever we are as we fire up our legs and fire up our core, and breathe. And for three more, 3 fierce lion breaths. Let me hear it. In through the nose, out through the nose or mouth. And for child's pose. Knees apart, toes are closed. Allowing our foreheads to rest on something. And our arms anywhere they would like to be. And so our arms may extend out in front. We may wrap our arms around the sides of our legs, surrendering our shoulders. If this is too much for our neck and our shoulders, we can double up our hands or stack our fists, or even use our blocks, any height. And let's give our heads a little nod from side to side, a very small massage between our brow, our third eye, helping us let go of whatever is cluttering our minds. And take a deep breath in. And let anything go. And slowly lifting our heads up above our hearts. And so let's turn over onto our backs. And for happy baby, onto our backs, we can hold onto our legs anywhere we'd like. We may come here holding on to our thighs. We may hold on to our calves, our ankles. Take a hold of our feet, or even take our peace fingers for our big toe, while our thumb presses on the bed of our big toenail. So we pull with our fingers and we press with our thumbs, protecting the big toe joint, relaxing our shoulders, retracting them. Tailbone down and away, a gentle rock and sway from side to side. Massaging through our lower backs, our sacrum. We're calming our blood pressure. And reclined butterfly, the soles of our feet together, allowing our knees to fall wide wherever they would like to fall, allowing our arms to rest wherever they would like to rest. Feeling our rib cage expand with our inhale, and relax with our exhale. And so take this time here to move through anything else our bodies are still craving and desiring. As we lift our knees up, we can use our hands to aid our legs up. We may shift our legs from side to side. We may come up into bridge like we had at the start of our practice, with our hips towards the sky. Knees in towards the chest, glutes stretch or hamstrings. Move through anything our bodies are needing here and now. Maybe a spinal rotation, through anything I may have missed for you. As we prepare for Shavasana, our final relaxation, our meditation, and choose to take Shavasana however it is that you'd like. You may stay on our back. We may turn over onto our side, onto our bellies if it's right for us. And we certainly may sit tall into our spine. I like to sit on a block to keep my hips up a little higher than my knees, and helps take pressure off of my lower back as well. And so choose to sit however it is that you would like. And so here, you may allow yourselves to continue in Shavasana, to sit a little longer, lie a little longer. You may play your own music if you wish to have music, or even allow yourselves to sit in complete silence. And as we are here in our Shavasana, let's express our gratitude, as expressing our gratitude muscle transforms the way that we see the beautiful world that it is. And so take a moment to send gratitude out to every human being on the planet and out to every living thing in the universe. We affirm together there is enough love to heal the world, and there is enough love to heal ourselves. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. And honoring the light and the love within each of you, Namaste.